Welcome back to the channel, you lovely people, and as you can already tell, before I've opened my mouth, I've made another terrible financial decision based on late 90s executive travel. As if owning a Jaguar Sovereign wasn't bad enough, I've now added to it with a very similarly shaded Range Rover P38. And you can blame my friend Sam for that. Sam at Classicwise, if you're watching, thank you very much, mate. I was there working at his fabulous car meet the other day, making some films, and at the end of it, Sam said to me, Paul, I've got a car that's just come into stock that you might be interested in. Threw me the keys to this, and there at the bottom of the road in Southwell was this amazing 4.6 HSE. That's right, 4.6. They did do a diesel version of this. I think at some point they did do a 4 litre of this, but this is the one you want. The full fat 1997 4.6 V8 top spec. Now I bought it for not a huge amount of money, and as we'll see in a moment, I think Sam was very, very kind for what he charged me, because the more I look, the better it gets. Will it financially ruin me? Quite possibly. I think these are a vehicle that, as everybody knows, they're not perhaps the most reliable, but having said that, this one, if you scan back through all the service history, seems to have actually had a lot of money spent on it, and it's only had 2 owners. So let's take a deep dive into this fabulous machine. Right, so let's have a look inside then now. I'm going to be honest with you, as you can see, she's sitting down. This also has airbags. A lot of these got converted later to non-airbags. People just put normal struts and springs on them. This one, so far, is on working, in inverted commas, airbags. I'd like to keep it on airbags. I'd like to try and keep it exactly as the factory intended. But she's been sitting for 2 weeks. First of all, let's see if it opens. This is completely unscripted. That's a good start. And let's see if it starts. Place your bets now. Central locking, a little bit noisy. And also, like all things of a certain age, will it go up on demand, or will it take a little while? Which I think is excusable when you get to a certain age. There's a pump working. This bodes well. Right, 2 weeks it's been parked here. I haven't put a trickle charger on it, I haven't done anything. I haven't even disconnected the battery, which would have been a clever thing to do. So, cross your fingers. I hear pumps, that's good. On the button. Oh, there's just no better sound than a full fat Range Rover, is there? Sounds beautiful, she's going up, I can feel it. Let's see if that goes up. Might take a little while, we might have to, oh there you go, I see movement. Back's coming up. Front's coming, look at that, it works. Maybe I've got the only one with 4 working airbags. Look at that. Famous last words, I think I might have got away with this one. It's going up on all 4 corners and the engine sounds sweet. So time to pop the bonnet and have a look. Cue angelic music. So I'm sure many of you have some questions, not least of all me. You're probably thinking, why a P38? Why not a Classic or an L322? Why a 4.6? And why now? Well, the now I'll answer first. Very simple, that one. Often when I'm out and about on my travels, cars just present themselves to me. People in the trade know that I like to rescue weird old stuff or unusual old stuff, and it was inexpensive. So that was reason number one. Why a 4.6? If you're going to have any Range Rover, have one with a V8. They just sound so good. They're not great on fuel, but then I don't think half the cars I have are great on fuel. Just use them sparingly. The other reason I think I like the P38 is kind of the unloved one, isn't it? Everybody loves a Range Rover Classic, and with great reason. Everybody loves an L322, even the Queen. She had an amazing one, which I've seen actually in the last video if you want to watch it. The P38 gets, I think, a bit of an unjust reputation, yet it actually broke so many of the technological advancements that came on later Range Rovers. And actually, if you get a good one, and I'm crossing my fingers, my legs, and things you can't see, that this one is, it can actually be a really good car. Now, we'll go through the history on this one in a minute. It's extensive. There's pages and pages of it. And as I say, the vehicle's only had 2 owners. And I'm hoping that could be setting us up for a lifetime of inexpense, he said, hopefully, and unrealistically. But it looks good under here. It's oily, messy. I'd like to get it cleaned up and see what it looks like. But what is amazing about this one is everywhere you look, apart from a few blemishes, which we'll go through in a minute, it's pretty good on the body. It's had a blessed life, this one, I think. Beautiful. So then you start to think, why this particular one? Well, just look at it. First of all, it's got lots of things I really, really adore. And Richard Porter, one of my favourite writers, and I think one of the most brilliant connoisseurs and arbiters of car great taste, reckons if you get a Range Rover, clear glass, little wheels, and ideally gingicators. Because so many P38s went through that thing when the 322 came out, everybody wanted to upgrade their P38 to make it look younger. There was loads of update kits. Land Rover themselves did a lot of stuff. They did clear indicators, bigger wheels, bigger steps, made them look more garish. What I love about this is so true to the original format of how the car was launched. If anything screams old money, it's this, isn't it? Nothing says you're trying less hard. Nothing says you've got a crumbled house in Wiltshire that your family's had for 5 generations like this. And I absolutely love it. Inside is beautiful. But let the fault finding begin. I've just tried to put the window down to give you a nice shot through the window, and the windows don't work. So we found one thing to put on the list straight away. But inside it's an HSE, so it's gorgeous. But it's very gorgeous for the time. Things have moved on a little bit, but it's very nice. Acres of leather, meters of wood, all actually in remarkably good condition. A real testament to the two owners. They've obviously taken a great deal of care of this lovely old truck. And as far as I can tell, a lot of it works. Electric windows don't. A lot of buttons come on, a lot of lights come on and then go out, which is always good in a Range Rover. You can't take that as a given. It's got the furry trims, which they made 2 hard trims on the later ones, and they've very much deferred. So you need to reflock those or get some of the later trims. They look quite good. Sunroof covers come off, headlining's coming off. So there's a few trim jobs to do. She's a fixer-upper, as we say in the trade. But already, guys, I can just tell you I'm in love with it. I've got all my sense of objectivity has gone out the window. When you sit in it, I can remember driving these in period in the mid to late 90s. I was working for Saab at the time. We had access to a few of these and they were just mega things. And nothing makes you feel quite so imperious when you're driving a Range. And obviously, the bigger the engine, the bigger the spec, the bigger the smile. It's lovely. Of course, the reason we all love a Range Rover, split tailgate, where you're going to sit and have your picnic while you watch the races. Love this faded dealer sticker. Love this National Trust sticker. Both of those are going to stay. They look fantastic. I haven't tried any of this. You're watching it with me for the first time. If it works, it's a bonus. If it doesn't, it goes on the list. Okay. Ooh. There you go. And the little flap looks all in place, not cracked and broken. You never really have to worry about 6x9s on a Range Rover shelf. Well, actually, you do, actually. Having said that, when they got into the Rude Boy era, quite a few people did. But as you can tell, because this is in the National Trust era, it isn't, perfect. So nothing to do here other than a bit of a clean and a polish. Being brutally honest with you, I wasn't expecting that to start. That was a very pleasant surprise. Now, in the moments when cars don't, and believe me, in this room, quite a few won't, this is what I go for. This is brought to us by our lovely sponsors this week, Draper. This is the GT24. Now, I've had a lot of industrial boost packs, as you can imagine, being in the motor trade for 30 odd years. They've all been very good. This by far is the best one I've used, just because it can take such a wallop. We'll do 10 litre petrol engines, up to 8 litre diesel engines, 12 or 24 volt. And I've done 20 starts in a row and it just still keeps ticking. So if you've got a series of old classics or you're running any kind of motor trade setup or car lot, get one of those. Chunky old thing, heavy, but just keeps going and going and going. And it's what you want when you're trying to start old cars. Anyway, back to the Range. Now what you hope for, but you never really get, is this. This is basically everything that I would hope to see, but really would not expect to see on a very, very low value Range Rover. Look at this. What wonderful owners. I always just wish I could find the owners when you buy a vehicle like this. Just take them out for a beer and say thank you. Look, every MOT in order, in reverse order. Then the advisory sheets, all neatly laid out. And every year this car's obviously been going to the MOT station. First of all, it's great because you can check the mileage. Not that the vehicle's purporting to be a particularly low mileage, but it's just nice to see. And there, look, at Epperston Bypass Garage, who are a fantastic little garage just down the road. And everything's been documented. It's just wonderful. And if you look, there's not any massive scary bills at any one time. But I think something like a P38, that just is the secret. If you just keep on top of it, I mean, there's nothing here for more than 500 quid I've come across so far. Let's hope that continues. Yeah, super comprehensive history. I love it as well when you've got one garage that's looked after a vehicle for such a long time, because you do get to know a car. You do get to know its foibles and problems and tricks. And also they'll know if something's wrong almost before the owner does. So that's great to see. And here is our current MOT. Interesting. Suspension component ball joint dust cover severely deteriorated, which means if we want those airbags to keep working, we better fix that. Fuel pipes corroded, oil leak but not excessive. She's a Range Rover, that's self-under sealing. And brake hose corrosion. So a little bit of money to spend And that expires 16th of September this year. So we've got some time. You're never late in a V8. Unless it breaks down, of course. You'd be very late. Oh, that ride. See, baby wheels, big tall tyres, and air suspension. I totally understand why many people take their air suspension off, because it is expensive to replace. We might find out how much it is to replace soon, you never know. But they do work and ride so well. And I think while this one is working, we must try and keep it working. I hear the pump keep topping up, so I wonder if there's a tiny leak as we drive it around. Sounds good though. I'm going to apologise for the very short test drive. I'm on a bit of a time limit because we're trying to escape for a family holiday. But I wanted to show this to you and share it with you. And I'm very excited. Something else you can tell by my slightly shiny head, the aircon I don't think is working either. We'll put that on the list. So aircon, electric windows. There's a few things to do. But just the drive, I'm now stuck in traffic. I'm really tempted just to go across the grass verge and get out of it because I can, because I'm in the Range Rover. But already it just sounds and feels very happy. She's bang on halfway on the temperature gauge. Can you hear that pump? Burp. Is that normal? P38 owners, please leave in the comments below. I can hear the pump grumbling. So it feels to me as if the pump is constantly trying to top up the air suspension. Which I don't know, it's meant to do that all the time. I would imagine it gets to pressure and then holds it there. Maybe we have a teeny tiny leak. But she sounds happy, she's smooth. I'm sitting in traffic, she's not getting hot. There is a real magic in a Range Rover, isn't there? If you've never had one before, of any age, there's just something about them. Because you sit a little bit higher, and I know there's other SUVs that sit equally as high, but there's just an imperious waft that comes with the Range Rover, even if it has a noisy pump that keeps topping up. That makes it just a little bit special. I like it a lot. Can I get out onto the road, or will I be stuck in traffic forever? If you are going to be stuck in traffic, apart from whether you're in one that doesn't have working air conditioning, this would be a very nice place to sit. So what else do we have? We've got the original radio cassette, which I like very much. We've got, in theory, climate control, as long as the climate that you're trying to affect is the Sahara, it seems. We've got some walnut and everywhere. I love the fact that the centre wood does not match even slightly the rest of the wood on the car. I'm looking at my deferred trims. I need to get those sorted out because you see those, they're right in your line of sight all the time. Steering wheel feels good. The leather's not too worn. The leather generally in this whole car is actually really good. I have to say, it does not look like the miles that it's got. And I am loving this very much indeed. She's not got much fuel, which I would imagine does not last very long in a range. Right, let's go. And that's what you want. I think these are about 240 brake, about 238 brake, but I think they've got some mad torque figure being a 4.6. You always get high torque figure in a diesel, but this is pretty good. And did you notice as well, this one has never towed. Not got a tow bar on it. It's never had one fitted. It's never had the valance cut. So we're looking at a two-owner, fully historied, fully stamped Range Rover 4.6 HSE that's never been used as a tow vehicle. As far as I can tell, hasn't been extensively off-road. It's a bit of a gem, this, isn't it? I do think it is going to ruin me, but it will be worth it. You hear that pump just singing away. Right, we're off. We're off to the races. That noise. You know, the other thing I'm slightly tempted to do as I go through my Jaguar Land Rover V8 era is to put a slightly noisier exhaust. I know the whole point of this is to waft quietly and effortlessly through the traffic, past the peasants, to your house, but wouldn't that sound lovely with just a little bit more of a warble? Just drive well, you know this. I did the tyre pressures yesterday, so we know they're okay. I don't think, record this because this is famous last words, I don't think this is going to need a huge amount of money spending on it. Either cosmetically or mechanically. People in Nottingham can't drive. See, I'm now in lane 2, just literally easing past these lower social orders, the proletariat, on my way to a board meeting in 1997. I'm about to merge or acquire a series of companies. That's how you feel when you drive this. Although actually in real life, I'll soon feel very poor and impoverished because I'll be paying the bills to keep it going. And the fuel. But there you go. That's just my little insight into the world of Range Rover ownership. It's fun this week, isn't it? Who knows what will happen in the future. I might even see if Jaguar Land Rover Classic would consider letting us do some filming there and see if we can take it back and give me another bell for some more work on another one of their lovely children. But thanks again for watching. Do like, subscribe, ring that bell and all that jazz. And I'll see you next time for a much longer, much better produced, well, within reason, version of this. We'll have a proper drive and a proper get to know it. But see you next time.